So today I'm going to be filming a get ready with me while I talk a little bit about how I became a associate marriage and family therapist. So it all first started when I graduated from high school in 2013. Oh my gosh, almost 13 years ago. Is that right? Am I getting the math correctly on that? That sounds outrageous to think that, but I guess so. I graduated from high school, was not sure what I wanted to do, to be quite honest with you. I ended up going to my community college in my hometown, and I was there for a couple years. And while I was there, I took some elective courses to kind of figure out, what direction I wanted to go in terms of school and getting a degree. And I landed on psychology. I remember taking a psychology elective course. It was like Psych 101 with this lady. I can't remember her name, but if I saw her in the room, I could point her out. And she was so energetic about the topic and just so passionate about it, and just made me enjoy the class so much. So long story short, decided to major in psychology. And I also was taking some criminology classes because that was also kind of piquing my interest a little bit. So I was there for, like I said, 2.5, 3 years, I can't remember exactly. And I did this program where you do like a UC transfer, so you take all these certain classes and it helps you transfer more smoothly to a UC. So in 2016, end of 2016, I went to UC Irvine and I majored in psychology and I was minoring in criminology. And before I graduated, they were like, you could take a couple more classes and you could also major in criminology, so you double major. So I did that. I wanted to do possibly forensic psychology, kind of like the criminal justice system and do things like that. So I ended up staying like 1 or 2 semesters longer so I could finish that. Graduated with double major, like I said. And then after I graduated, I took some time off to kind of figure out, honestly, if I wanted to go back to school to get my master's, because undergrad was a lot, okay? It was like 3 years at my community college, 3 years at my UC, so I kind of took a slower route, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason. So I took a year off, and then during the pandemic, in October 2020, I applied to Pepperdine. I didn't apply anywhere else. I only applied to Pepperdine, and I got in. And then I started school January 2021. And in the beginning, we were doing virtual school, which was not the best, honestly, but it was the safest. So I did that, and then after a few semesters, we ended up going in person, which was nice. And in the beginning of, it's kind of hard to pay attention and talk and do this at the same time. In the beginning, I was working as an ABA therapist, working with autistic children for about a year. And then in one of my classes, I had a friend who worked at a residential treatment center, and he said that their work was hiring. So I applied there to be a mental health worker. And I would give the clients their medication every morning and night or afternoon. I would cook them lunch, prepare lunch. I would take them on outings. We'd go to the beach. We'd go to the zoo, the movie theaters, things like that. So I did that for about a year and a half or so as just a mental health worker while going to school full time and working 7 to 3:30 during the week and weekends, and then going to school during the week four times a week from 4:30 to 10. So it was a lot. And then after about a year and a half, I can't remember exactly, I became a lead MHW, so basically just a lead for the MHWs I was working with. And during that time, I was also doing my practicum for my school. So in your master's program, you do your practicum the last year. And I applied to one place. I was really scared, honestly. I was really nervous applying to places. I didn't think I was confident enough to work at these private practices, and I heard like horror stories about the interview process, and it was really nerve-wracking. So I applied to one place and I got it. I was like, great, I don't have to go through any other interview process. It's great. And I ended up working there for a year. It was not so great. I worked kind of on Skid Row and then downtown LA area, working with the homeless population. I learned a lot doing that. It just was not really my forte, and it was hard to do therapy with these clients because a lot of times they were living in tents on the street. Like I talked to them in the tents, or they would live in these environments that were just not the safest. So it was hard. But again, I really learned a lot about my clients, and we really would just talk. Like they really just needed somebody to talk to them and have conversations with. I wasn't doing like full-on therapy every day, but in some form or another I was. So I did that, and at my residential program, I also worked with a lot of homeless population and veterans. So I have a lot of experience working with individuals who have a lot of trauma. And once I graduated from my master's program, I became a clinical case manager at my residential program that I have been at for those 2.5 years. And as a clinical case manager, I was doing therapy and case management. So I'd have some therapy clients and then I'd have some case management clients. And then over time, became fully just therapist. And I would have, on average, around 6 to 12 clients, depending on how busy we were. This was at our outpatient, so So I went from our residential to our outpatient program. I'd have 6 to 12 clients, depending on how many clients we had, and then I would run groups a few times a week for 2 hours at a time, and it was a lot. And then I ended up leaving that job in February of this year. I was let go, which was unfortunate, but I'm glad it happened because everything happens for a reason. We had kind of a huge company-wide let go, whatever was happening. People were just being let go left and right. So I was one of those people. And again, that's okay because it led me to where I am now, which I'm very, very happy about. I started working for a virtual IOP, like outpatient program. So I've been doing that. So I've been working at the outpatient virtual since May. And then I started working at another place in July because I wasn't getting as many clients at my outpatient job. So now I'm working at 2 places. I work at outpatient telehealth and I work at a private practice, and they're both virtual, which I really enjoy doing. I love being in my own space. I love making my own schedule. I have about 25 clients in total from both places, which is a lot for me. I'm not really used to that. Like I said, I had like 6 to 12, so in the beginning it was kind of a lot, but now, like, without not having to do groups really helps too, so I have a lot more time to see my clients. But now I'm seeing clients like 6-7 hours a day straight, which is also something I was not used to. But again, I really love it. I'm learning a lot. I appreciate both of my jobs. I have the greatest time. I have the greatest clients. I really do connect with all my clients in different ways. I enjoy working with them so much, and I'm just so fortunate for these 2 jobs that I did get, because after I left my other place, I was in a really dark place for a couple months and thought the world was ending. I've never been let go before from a job, so it was just really hard to kind of grasp. But again, it led me here. And I'm so thankful, and I'm so excited for what the future holds, whether that be continuing to work for these places when I do become licensed, or having my own private practice, or doing both. I don't know yet, but I am really, really excited. Because honestly, the opportunities as a therapist are really endless, and there's just so many different routes I can take. So I'm just really waiting for those hours to be done. It's 3,000 hours total, and I have about, I want to say 700 left, 800 left, and a lot of them are the direct client hours, as well as the direct client hours with families, couples, or children, which I do not have a lot of experience with. So I am working more with younger teens and a few couples now, which is good. And I would love to work with children again. I did that at my ABA job, working with autistic children, so I would like to get back into that. But yeah, I'm hoping within the next year or so, or less, I'll be done with those hours. I can apply for my license, become licensed, and then just take that next step. So yeah, that's kind of how I ended up here. If you have any questions or want to share your story, I am all open ears. I love hearing how other people became therapists and what their journey was like, because all of our journeys are so different. I remember when I was in grad school, I had colleagues who were younger than me, I had colleagues who were older than me, I had colleagues that this was their second job, or this was their second, time going to school and doing something completely different, changing their career completely. So we all have very different backgrounds, which I think is such a beautiful thing in this realm of work. Yeah, thanks so much for watching.